Alright, welcome back everyone. We are Ceramite Semantics, and we're going to talk about some new reveals.
Woo!
I guess, first things first, we can talk about everyone's favorite stilt boy, huh?
Oh man, this is. Oh man.
What do you think about this guy?
Um, I was actually kind of into it for like 5 seconds, and then the more I looked at it, I was just like,
I
the
feel
more
like
I hated it.
I was into it, and then I started scrolling down, and then scrolled down further and further, and like,
And
damn,
just your whole page.
why do his legs keep going?
Also like, I don't understand why he's got this tail piece exhaust pipe thing. Like,
Yeah, that's a little weird.
I don't. Also, this model like screams, "I'm gonna break."
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of people talking about that already in Discord. Like, this is gonna be the new number one model that breaks during transport.
You're gonna need a whole foam transport just for him.
Yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I will caveat this and say like I'm just not a big fan of AdMech in general. Sorry guys for those who play AdMech. I know life's been kind of rough for you guys lately, and I don't mean to kick a droid while he's down.
yeah,
But I do not like this. Although I will say his gun is cool. Like the gun model is rad.
yeah. Honestly, if you just like took him off the stilts, he'd be pretty sick. If he had like normal, like Skitarii legs,
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
know, it'd be a pretty sick model. And I get that like he's probably designed that way because he's supposed to be like a sharpshooter and he's like standing above everyone, sniping. But like, yeah, he looks a little ridiculous.
I just want to know the environment in which he's supposed to be beneficial. Like, how rocky is this terrain? Because it seems like
Yeah.
he's not going to be very effective. I know he's got the springs in his legs and whatnot, but
He's got the shock absorbers.
he's dragging this tail thing around on the rocks. He's not going to be able to get a clear shot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. For that being said, though, his gun seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
Stats wise, yeah, he's looking pretty decent. Really
uh,
not
the
bad at all.
the radium part, like a loadout, I actually read it really fast, and the second half of it made me feel uncomfortable because I read it as radium jizzle, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
wait a second, what kind of heavy
Hold
precision
on
garbage
here.
is this? But no, I mean it seems to be fun. It's for especially
Yeah,
for
I like the other
picking out
one.
characters.
Honestly,
Yeah, I think
the
we're
other one
both.
doesn't have anti-infantry, but like it's strength 7. So
Well, you're looking at it's because you got one infantry loadout and you got one big mama loadout. So anti-monster and anti-vehicle 4+ seems like
yeah.
that's really good.
Plus,
And
most
still,
infantry you're gonna be wounding on a 3 anyway, so you don't need anti-infantry 3 plus. The other thing is like if they have some way to get like their canticles in the new codex to where like they can give themselves devastating wounds, then it would be, good to take one or the other.
ooh,
Because if they don't
yeah,
have access to that, I say take the arquebus every time.
ooh, fair, fair. The with that new stratagem that they previewed with giving the AP increased by one, that seems like
Yeah,
that's gonna be money with this
yeah, that's
dude.
pretty similar to one of the Genestealer Cult ones, but instead of +1 AP, it's I think it's +1 to wound.
Ooh, it's just so good. It's just so good. AP +1 though, and that's crazy,
Yeah, AP
especially
is
with two units.
important in 10th edition. But yeah,
Really good.
2 units will just get +1 AP. Like, yeah, that's pretty good. The detachment rule for what? Skitarii Hunter Cohort. This is gonna help.
Yeah, this it's stealth.
Infantry and mounted gives you stealth and cover 12 inches away. This is like the Raven Guard thing.
It's like robot ravens.
Yeah.
which seems
I think
it
we're gonna
seems fun.
see this detachment rule a lot in 10th edition. I feel like almost every codex is gonna have something like this,
Mm-hmm.
where they just have
It,
like
it
a stealthy detachment.
it seems like there is a lot of crossover between
Yeah,
armies of having a lot of the, like similar abilities, but then like kind of adding in that flavor depending on the detachment, which I think is fun, and it gives a little bit of flair with maybe not having any one detachment being like super above and beyond, even
yeah.
though
Unless
obviously
you're
there'll
Iron
be weaker
Warriors.
ones. Yeah, which is well, dumb. poor, poor veteran squads.
Yeah, poor everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Strat's cool. We're definitely gonna see more rules in the future. Obviously, this is just a little tease for the Warhammer Day. So
absolutely,
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of their stuff because these are the next codex. I
absolutely.
have always liked AdMech, unlike you, and
No, I can't do it.
I like at one point I think I talked about this in one of our other videos. So like I definitely would have started one if the timing between them and Genestealer Cult was a little different. I probably would have had an AdMech army instead because
Oh,
I think they were revealed around the same time. I think that was in like 7th edition, so it was a while ago. But
spicy take right there.
yeah, I love my cult, but I really like these models too. I don't like this model, but I do like their other
Generally
approaches.
speaking, I will say I do really like the Thopters. I think the Ornithopter dudes are probably, if I was gonna
Those
select a
the
model
jump
from their
dudes,
line, the like the little airplane dudes.
yeah, with wings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are cool.
yeah,
Those are fun.
yeah.
But other than that,
I like Call. Call is a sick model. I've painted one of those before. Uh, the Castellan robots, I think those are really cool. Also, the Cataphront Breachers. So those are the dudes on tank treads. I really like those models, but they have like never been good ever, unfortunately.
womp, womp, womp.
Yeah,
And then you
Doom
have
Crawlers are sick.
the crawlers.
Yeah,
Yep.
Doom Crawlers are awesome. They kind of remind me
I
of like a Defiler before it got possessed, like a Chaos Defiler. Like
And I
before
always
it
want
got
to say
possessed.
there's like a Jawa in there, or I guess like the 40k equivalent would be like a Watcher.
Yeah,
There's a Dark Angel little Ewok Jawa dude in there for sure.
yeah.
I think.
Yep, yep.
Just making random noises.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool. But yeah, now I got Colt, and I'm probably never gonna pick these guys up. However, if they do make a Dark Mech army, those will get scooped up immediately.
Just immediate purchase.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
the
should
wallet.
we talk about these other robots?
Yeah, this one, Warhammer Day 2023, was just made to be. Should have just been called Robot Day.
Robot Day.
National Robot Day. We're of course talking about everyone's favorite Terminator boys, the Necrons,
Yeah.
coming in hot with the new Papa Emo.
What you think about Emotech the Stormlord?
I don't dislike them. I guess I think the main problem with me and I just don't get into like the robot aesthetic as much as I get into like the biological claw stuff. You see like I just see like Tyranids, etc. So it's hard for me to really be like, yeah, I like this robot dude. That being said, I do think Necrons are cool. I don't have any like personal vendettas against Necrons. I've just never really been interested in them. They also have a very sad story, and one of them is in possession of my clone boy, which please do something with that GW. PS with love.
Who's that? Who's the clone?
The,
Fulgrim?
the Fulgrim, yeah. Old Trazen.
Yeah,
It's got
Trazen's got him.
clone Grim. But I don't dislike it. I think his cloak is really cool. I
Yeah,
like
the
the
cloak
cloak
is
a lot.
awesome.
It's cool. His staff's rad. I always like that Tesseract glow kind of feel, that green, that like
Yeah.
really distinct green that they have
Uh-huh.
in a lot of their Dynasty load. So I don't dislike it.
Yeah,
The
it's just like feels classic. Like it is
mhm.
really just an updated version of the old model with, much higher quality of detail.
Yeah, the
It
HD
definitely,
ones.
yeah, it looks good. It's clean, nothing like too crazy about it. It's just a nice new model for a classic guy.
I love the new the Codex artwork for the Necrons. I think that like him
Yeah, that's
on
sick.
the like that's really cool. Like ooh, that collector's edition is gonna be rad. I think.
Yeah, it's a good looking cover art.
And we didn't get a whole lot of information on the Necron stuff, but we did get a little
Yeah,
bit.
it is early. We got the
So
hyperphasic recall stratagem.
it's and it's a strategic ploy, which is important to note now. With the, I think they're trying to like really separate the type of stratagems moving forward with like the free stratagem changes to the battle tactic and so on and so on and so forth. So this monolith model, we'll see.
Yeah,
I
I
wonder.
think it's a pretty cool strat. Let's see. You just have one model gets destroyed in an infantry unit, and you just take that unit and put it next to your monolith.
Because as far as I know, monoliths traditionally have been pretty bad,
Yeah, maybe a long
right?
time ago. Um, yeah, I'm probably not even the best to ask because I haven't fought Necrons since sixth edition. But back then, monoliths were just like incredibly tanky and hard to kill, and you could also bring in your reserves through them. So like every turn, you could just march out 20 warriors like no one's business.
And then they just come back to life.
Yeah, and they just come back. And speaking of that, their enhancement is just goes on the character and then the unit he's attached to and himself, I would assume, gets fight on death 4+. That seems pretty good because
Yeah,
Necron models already come back to life after you destroy them. So yeah, they can like fight on death and then come back. I'm not exactly sure how reanimation protocols work in 10th. I haven't looked too closely into it, but
well, I think this is just kind of like we need this thing to happen, and yeah, this kind of helps ensure that thing to happen.
yeah,
You know, with a lot of like the fight on death stuff, it's like certain situations. You know, if you have got that fight's first loss in the
right.
fight phase, you're like, oh, I kind of really need this to go off. This gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, you can throw that unit at something in melee and guarantee that they're going to at least do something.
Yeah, which is nice because that can be like, ooh, not. That can feel not great.
Yeah.
It is also worth knowing, and this is true for the AdMech preview as well, that there's looks like there's going to be 5 detachments for both of these codexes. So we'll see. So we'll probably run, I would imagine, 4 new detachments
Oh yeah, and then the index
for
one.
each new, in addition to the index one, because that's kind of what we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what they get, because I think it'll be cool. Because I love some of their models are really cool. I think
Yeah, the
Silent,
Scorpax I love.
yeah, Silent King's really cool. Shard Dragon or Void Dragon's really cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna
Uh,
have infantry spam detachment where you just want to bring a bunch of warriors and immortals. They're gonna have a vehicle one where you focus on annihilation barges and ghost arcs and stuff. They'll probably
I
have a
love the
scorpic
barge.
one as well, or a
Hmm.
destroyer one technically, because I think they're destroyer cult. So you could have a bunch of destroyers and scorpex. That one would be sick.
Oof, that's gonna be rough. I love the barge because it reminds me of like, I think the Drukhari, um, like Venoms and stuff are like very reminiscent of Jabba's barge,
Oh yeah,
but like
definitely.
the assault barge or the annihilator barge always gets me in like if Java was a robot, that would be like it'd
That's
just
what
be
he'd fly.
yeah, they just would be partying on one of those, and it makes me really happy. Not only in the sense of like thinking as Java was like what would he look like as a Necron, but just in general, like seeing
What
those
he
two
would
aesthetics
fly.
mesh.
Yeah,
hmm
that's
So
cool.
hitting those, few kind of like little tidbits we got. What do you think changes now? We're just kind of getting introduced. Some people are messing around with these new Space Marine detachments and kind of playing it out. But once the AdMech and the Necrons come in, where do you think we go from here?
Well, I don't think either of them are sitting very good meta wise currently. Um, right here, I got a stats page open. This is Goonhammer stats that anyone can go look at. You can filter it by win rates by faction and also filter by date. So I filtered mine starting with September 18th because this is after the balanced data slate and also right after a big tournament. So I think it was like one of the biggest tournaments post data slate, and
Yeah.
then filtered to today. So this is like not 100% accurate because this doesn't have every single game, obviously, but I think it's a pretty good picture. And sitting pretty close to the bottom is Necrons and AdMech sitting at 43% win rates. Not great. Also, the AdMech games played is
Yeah,
amongst the lowest of any faction besides Deathwatch.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think to kind of like caveat on that is I would imagine with these changes, hopefully, we're looking at these percentage going up to like maybe GW's sweet spot. So hopefully, 8 to 10% increase of a win rate, depending on how the rules really go.
Yeah.
It kind of remains to be seen with the Space Marine ones. Obviously, there's Space Marine detachments, like we kind of hinted at earlier and talked about in earlier episodes, that are better than others. And I foresee we'll see probably three of them a lot in the Firestorm. The Gladius is still really good, and then the Iron one. So
Right.
it's interesting to note that the Necron one is games played is like very high.
Yeah. Yeah. It is one of the higher ones.
It's actually the third highest games played in as of from the September 18th date, and so
Yeah.
we had like the London GT, I would imagine, is in here, and like a lot of the bigger RTTs and other GTs that have happened. So,
Yeah. They're a pretty popular faction,
mm-hmm.
and they were, I think, pretty good post or pre data slate.
Yes, agreed.
Necrons
No,
early
they were.
early 10th
Mm-hmm.
were in a pretty good spot, I think. I'm not exactly sure what changed. I'm sure they got some points nerfs and maybe some other nerfs here and there, minor things. Usually when the nerf bat swings, it swings pretty hard, unless you're Eldar, and then you need 3 tiny bats.
Yep, a lot of bats,
Yeah.
which is strange because we're still kind of sitting at a meta where Eldar are like still really good with an index.
That's ridiculous.
I think Tyranids are in a good spot. I think they're relatively balanced. I think the new detachments offer a lot of flavor.
Yeah, I think just based on these win rates, which again are not like 100% accurate, but just based on these win rates we're looking at here, this is a pretty good meta. Like, the highest is at 55, the lowest is 41, which is below what they want, but I'm sure that will change.
Exactly, and like just to again to add on to that point is a lot of these are pretty close to 50%,
Yeah.
and I think that's like really ideal.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, we kind of yell at GW sometimes for some balancing issues. and rightfully so in some circumstances. But I think as far as healthy metas go, we're in a pretty good spot, and I would imagine going forward with these two codexes, it hopefully will just change that up to where, they gain the percentage to go into a little bit closer to the 50% win rate area.
Yeah, I would think so. I was just talking to a buddy yesterday about codex creep and how I'm really hoping that it isn't as severe as ninth edition.
Ninth edition was so bad,
Yeah, it was
so bad.
ridiculous. But I mean, we started off with like some pretty crazy balance issues in 10th. So we'll see how the codexes go from here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
And I
they're bound to get better. They're definitely not going to get worse. So these two win
agreed.
rates
Agreed.
are definitely going to go up. And even if they go up 2%, then they'll be at 45 and be in, GW sweet spot. I think they're likely to go higher because more detachments, more stratagems, more tools. Like, there's bound to be one of those combos, one of those detachments that is just really good, and it's going to be the probably most commonly taken one, and it's going to be good. Like, that's
what is the competitive? What does the competitive, detachments look like?
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, they're bound to go up.
And they've been pretty adamant, I think, about if something like, obviously the first change is going to always be points, right? Because that's like the easiest thing. And I think they're coming to terms with the fact that making things digital is really the way to go in that sense. And so they can, like, if things get crazy, they can just, we'll put out a points change real quick, and then once the next data sheet comes out, we can like kind of look into it further. But in the meantime, at least try to make some sort of relative compromise with the points changes.
Yeah, and that's a fine system. They're never going to get anything right the first time. It's just not going to happen.
Oh, for sure.
That is very rare, and I don't. No instances come to my mind of that happening. So, yeah, minor changes right after it comes out, and then bigger ones down the line. It's just how it's going to go. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where they go.
I'm looking forward to it, though.
Yeah. Well, you want to cover the last 40K news of the Warhammer day?
Yeah, so we got a little bit of love in the area that is known as Kill Team. So it looks like kind of a new season, I guess you could call it, for Kill Team. Is been previewed, and the starter box is going to be some new kits. Which is going to be some Space Marine Scouts, and then some Eldar Striking Scorpions. Super excited for this, actually.
Yeah, I think this is a really good box.
I haven't actually played Kill Team since like the first edition Kill Team, so I haven't played a ton of the new rules. But I've been paying attention to like roughly to the new seasons and kind of the direction they've taken Kill Team.
When you say first edition, are you talking like what, 8th edition or something like that?
Yeah, so when they first so when they first brought Kill Team, it was a little bit more like mini 40K. Yeah. Whereas now some of those rules have changed significantly to where it's a kind of like its own, it's like a Warcry situation, between the AOS and that system. So it's a little bit more of its own thing now.
And also that edition, just for the audience who are probably going to comment at us, or not at all, because that doesn't really happen much, but for those that do, that edition was not the first. So that in 7th edition, that was probably like 3rd or 4th edition Kill Team or whatever. But Kill Team is pretty old. Doesn't go as far back as 1st edition 40K, but yeah, it's been like some minor books here and there. Definitely didn't have the support that it does now. but you could play back in like I think third or fourth or something like that. I know it existed.
Oh, yeah.
I know it existed when I first started playing Warhammer in 5th edition, so it is pretty old. But that edition, I think when we played, that was 7th edition, wasn't it?
Well, there was 8th edition 40K in that
And
same
we
time
played.
frame.
Okay.
Yeah, because we started. Well, that was kind of like my introduction to Kill Team when they brought it back after the big gap.
Yeah.
And that was in 8th edition.
Gotcha.
But I'm super into it. I want them. I love the Striking Scorpions. Super into them.
Yeah, the models are. I think they're pretty freaking cool.
I know there was some talk about Eldar not wearing helmets for blasters on their face, and
This dude.
like you mentioned that.
Yeah, this dude with mana blasters right next to his face that are gonna pop off. That's probably not gonna feel good right next to his face, his bare face.
I think that's just part of the rush of being a space elf.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's just they're into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Their
very
chain
excited.
swords look awesome though. I love those chain swords. That's
I do
way
like
cooler than a Space Marine chain sword.
Absolutely. I like the Eldar aesthetic a lot.
Yeah.
I love the Aspect Warriors.
Yeah, I really liked the old Striking Scorpions. I've never played Eldar much. I've never owned any besides like a couple models here and there, random freebies from people.
Mm-hmm.
But I did always like the Striking Scorpions. I never wanted to like. I think there was at one point when I was like making lists for Eldar and like thinking about maybe getting some models, and I didn't want to get these ones because they were so old and like the models were so old. Whereas like you could get some other Aspect Warriors that just kind of looked better because they were newer. So
yeah,
it's
I think
nice to see a new kit for them.
I want to say Dire Avengers were the first one to go plastic, and then now we have the Banshees are plastic. Now these guys will be plastic. So I think those are the only ones. I think we still need and Shining Spears. I guess if we're gonna count that, but because Warp Spiders and Swooping Hawks, I really want plastic Swooping Hawks more than I want Warp Spiders. Because I love
Fire Dragons.
No, they are not plastic. You're correct. So Fire Dragons are still the old ones too. And I hope that Papa Striking Scorpion gets a new model as well.
What's his name?
Carradradris. Career. If you Eldar, my elf people, correct us.
Yeah. Kerbadurbus. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I'll go with that. I like that as well because like the new Tsar, like the new Magan Ra, super fun models. Big fan. The Dark Reapers, arguable, but I think they're fun as well. But the new Phoenix Lords for sure, super rad.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just cool. And then on the other hand, we got these silly dudes in a little bit of power armor.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I always like just picture if I was going to picture myself in the 40K universe, how I would just not want to be one of these particular people.
A scout?
Yeah, and I realize that these might be like, like on the cusp of getting a gene seed to become a Space Marine.
Yeah.
But if you're just a normal person in the 40K universe, that just spells disaster.
Yeah, it's not going to end well.
It's never good.
Maybe not even one. One of these dudes maybe will survive to become a Space Marine.
Yeah. I'm gonna. It's probably
they're a
one.
fine kit, I guess. I've never liked scouts. The new kit is cool for them, but I've never really liked scouts, but for those of you that do, you got a new
Yeah,
kit
and cool.
and
I
probably
also
some new options. I don't know what the new options are. I'm guessing the
well, it
grappling
looks like
hook, that's got to be new. I'm pretty sure they could take a sniper before
yeah
and
the
get a heavy weapon.
also there's like a large number of these models that have Mohawk-esque like hair.
They did the eyes really nice on these models too, because they're
Yeah.
really gaudy.
Also, I was gonna say uh little asterisks here with the Raven Guard love. This looks like we're gonna. I heard a rumor that we're gonna be maybe getting some Raptor stuff. So with them, this could be kind of part of that. But I don't dislike the RG. I love the sniper rifle in this one. Like that
Yeah,
model. That
that
one's
guy
so
looks
cool.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he. No, I'm pretty sure they could take snipers before. That grappling hook has got to be a new option. This Auspex dude possibly could be a new kill team option.
Oh, with the I guess with the holding like the
Yeah,
with
he's
like
got
the
the
Cyclops visor.
Auspex. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they could take one or two heavy weapons before, anyways, because we got a heavy bolter and a missile launcher. Yeah, maybe it's not much.
Also, these
I
knives.
think,
These knives are huge.
yeah, they are some big knives. Honestly, my favorite thing about this whole box is the terrain, though. I think this is some awesome terrain.
Yeah, that's
And
where
the
we're going.
board, too,
Third seas.
looks
Third
really
seas.
cool. Yeah, I think, yeah, we're possibly going to split this box among three people, where Michael here will get Scorpions, and we got a buddy that plays Raven Guard, so he'll get the Scouts, and I will snag up the terrain, because I want to make a Necromunda board, and this box would be great for that.
Yeah, this does scream. Play me with Necromunda as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
That's
awesome.
it's a fun aesthetic. I think it is cool.
Looking good.
Beautiful.
Well, you got anything else you want to chat about?
I'm
40K
good.
reveals,
I think
Warhammer Day reveals.
I think
we covered it.
Robot. Yeah, I think Robot Day was a success.
Obviously, were other reveals for Warhammer Day, but this is a 40K channel, so we ain't got to talk about that stuff.
They're not. They're cool, but they're not 40K.
They're
so.
not that cool.
So they don't make the cut. But
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and until next time.
Till next time. See you later.